Hi, how you doing? My name is Gino Guevara and I am a martial arts marketing expert. Basically what I do is I show owners just like yourself how to get to multiple six figures quickly and fastly. This is the name of this video is called Martial Arts Business Success, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to categorize your time to where you're making the most amount of money. Okay, now one of the things is what I've done is I've broken this up into 4 sections. I've broken this up into $10 an hour activities. This is based on an hour, $50 an hour activities, $1,000 hour activities, and then $10,000 hour activities. Now, if you look right underneath, what I've done is I've put in parentheses the times, okay? Because most martial arts school are going to do the majority of their business between 4 p.m. and 10 p.m., okay? Now, the thing about it is, except for this last category over here, the reason being is because this is where most people are getting off of work. So this is why these are what we call the prime time hours in a martial arts studios from 4 to 10. Okay, now one of the things is obviously you want to shift your way into this square right over here, this matrix. But what a lot of people do is, especially new owners, is they spend most of their time in this $10 an hour activity. And if you stand it here, there's no way you're going to be able to move into this block right over here. So these are some of the things that you should not be doing, because obviously making $10 an hour isn't going to pay your rent, and it's not going to help you really gain the wealth and the freedom that you're looking for with your school. So these are a few of the $10 activities and that you do not want to be doing. Talking to unqualified students or prospects, right? In other words, this is wasting your time. If they're not qualified, if they're not able, you're wasting your time. The other thing is you don't want to be cold calling. This is the old way of trying to get members. That's just a waste of time. I've never done cold calling. I refuse to do it. I refuse to talk to unqualified students. Cleaning your school, that's something that you can pay somebody $10 an hour to do that. Driving to meetings, printing, getting your printing done, doing your ordering, payroll, billing, and of course answering phones. Now this is important because you definitely want to make sure that your front desk, most of your front desk should be able to do all these for you for your $10 an hour. The last thing you want to do is spend your prime time, all those 6 hours that you can, doing $10 an hour activity. Okay, this is where you want your front desk to be doing all these activities. Now what we do is my front desk, my team members, they spend 80% of their time answering their phones. In other words, we train our team members on how to do this, and then we have a priority list where they go down doing these different activities. Okay, so the thing about it is these do have to be done. Don't get me wrong, they do have to be done, but they should be done by somebody that you're paying $10 an hour for, which is going to be your front desk. Now the next thing is, this also gives you kind of a diagram on how I transition. Ideally is I want my director and my owner to be able to do all of these activities, but the next one is your $50 an hour activities that are going to be happening from 4 to 10 p.m. Okay, now this obviously is going to be your instructor. Okay, now what he should be doing from 4 to 10 p.m. is he's going to be teaching. Okay, those of you guys that offer private lessons, you could offer private lessons during prime time, solving student issues, answering emails, also doing the marketing tactics, which means going out, putting out rack cards, going out there, implementing the tactics that are required to drive traffic into the studio. You should also be taking care of your retention tactics, calling the students, making sure they're coming to class, promoting the events during class, and then of course, since he's involved with most of the members at the same time, he can also take pictures and integrate social media. Okay, so what should happen is you have your $10, which is your front desk, you have your $50 an hour activities, which notice they're at the same time, okay, which obviously it's going to be very hard for this person to do all this and this. This is why you want to outsource this out to your front desk and let your instructor focus on these right here, which is the retention part. Now, the next section is going to be the $1,000 an hour activities, which again, these are going to be happening from 4 to 10. So it's very important to have these three team members involved, because they're all going to be working at the same time, except this one is your director is going to be focusing on these $1,000 an hour activities, which are he's only got 4 hours in the day to be able to do these. So obviously, what you want him working on is you want him working on sales. In other words, these guys set up all the appointments. What this person should do is they should be working on sales during 4 to 10. He should also be doing your upgrades. He should be planning and prioritizing his week. Also important, his job description is to drive revenue, is to put together marketing campaigns, manage the team, and also manage school growth, okay? Now, obviously, this is what you want your director doing. You don't want him doing all these other things and letting these people take. So if he can spend the majority of his time, 80% of his time, doing these $1,000 activities, okay? Now, the next one is what the owner and the CEO should be doing, okay, which is those $10,000 activities. Now, most of the time, these can be done between 8 and 12 o'clock in the day, and then also from 1 to 3, and then he can manage all these other people instead of being in these activities, okay? So, what you want the owner and your CEO to do is obviously you want him to be able to create the offers for the school, be able to write the copy, plan and execute strategy, which is new services, new products, select and lead the executive team, which is this group right here, establish the values and the culture of the organization, making sure that all these people are on the same board, clock building and succession. In other words, he should be trying to make sure that this business can work without him and building the people underneath him so that he can step out. So if a director goes down, an instructor goes down, he's already built in the systems to be able to have a pipeline to be able to fill these in. And then also negotiate large deals and joint ventures, which, are very important because one joint venture, if you can tap into, let's say a organization that's close by that has 200 or 300 employees, you can generate a huge amount of leads for these guys over here. So you want the owner and the CEO. So pretty much what should happen is you want to get the best front desk. You want to have the best instructor, the best director, and the owner and the CEO kind of steps out as involved in the marketing funnel and the strategy and the execution of this, which is going to generate these $10,000 an hour ideas. So ideally, the front desk, what you want to do is train them here, then they become instructors, and once you have your instructors, you have a plan to move it over here to the director, and then obviously you can have help them to become an owner or have their own school, build them up, and let them kind of fly off and open up their own wings and move out of the nest and help build the best. Now, what this person also should do is he should also focus on building the best directors, right? You want to make sure, because these are the ones that drive the engine in a school. So what I try to do, another 2 tips that I would suggest doing that I do is I actually have a note card that I use, and I plan these. This is what I'm trying to focus the majority, 8 to 12 o'clock, this is what I'm doing, and from 1 to 3, I'm working on all this. At 4 to 10, this is kind of what I'm working on. Right now, I've actually stepped out, and I'm letting my director do these, so that way I can focus more on these $10,000. These are the high growth driving long-term strategies that I try to work on. In addition, as I try to, when I put together my plan, I actually have an assistant that does most of this stuff for me. She's a great assistant. And what I try to do is I look at my list and I see if I can cut my list in half and give her everything that's not in this matrix, in this part right here. If there's anything else that needs to be done right here, is I give it to her and make sure that she can do all those things in addition to my team members. Okay, hope this helps. If you guys have any questions, I definitely think you should go to my blog, sixfiguremartialartsmarketing.com. It's on the bottom. Click that link and you can get some more tips and strategies on how to make your martial arts school more successful.